Welcome to Avalanche Storytime, brought to you by Bender's Bar and Grill.
This is Jim Armstrong, former sports columnist at the Denver Post. These days, I own Bender's up in Westminster in the Westminster Promenade Ice Center. If you don't think we're the preeminent hockey bar in the metro area, you haven't seen the framed Original Six jerseys above the bar. We have poutine on the menu. That must make us a hockey bar. All kinds of good stuff on the menu. Come on up to Bender's and check us out.
I'm your host, Adrian Dater, and today I'm going to take you back to 2001, February of 2001, when the Avalanche made a very seismic trade near the trade deadline. Now, we're just past the deadline that happened in the NHL. The Avalanche made a trade on trade deadline day. They made a bigger one in 2001, and before we get started, you know, NHL players have a great life, right? They get paid a lot of money. They are pampered, treated very well while they're players. But people forget how stressful it can be, I think. I don't think everybody knows just how stressful it can be to be traded as a player and all the worry that goes into it and all the upheaval that happens in people's lives. And especially when you have a family. Now, in February 21st, 2001, the Avalanche made a huge deal. They traded Adam Deadmarsh and Aaron Miller to the Los Angeles Kings for Rob Blake and Steve Reinprecht. The Avalanche also gave up a draft pick. And this was such a huge trade, but it wasn't just because the Avalanche got Rob Blake. They traded away such a fan favorite in Adam Deadmarsh. And I want to take you back to that trade here and some of the behind the scenes drama that happened with that. The Avalanche were having a great season. This is the year with Ray Bourque, Peter Forsberg. This is a team that went on to win the Stanley Cup, okay? But Pierre Lacroix, the general manager, thought they needed another defenseman to go with Adam Foote and Ray Bourque. Pretty good top two there, but Rob Blake, he thought would put him over the top. He was proven right. But when the Avalanche made this trade, they traded a good player in Adam Deadmarsh. The guy was having a really good year. And Adam Deadmarsh was a guy with already a lot of stress on his plate at this time. The reason why is because February 9th of 2001, his wife, Krista, gave birth to two twin girls, Alexis and Madison. They were both born a month premature, and it was a stressful pregnancy for Krista. There were a lot of complications. This thing was a little scary for the couple. And so they're born February 9th. Adam Deadmarsh gets traded 12 days later. He's been with the Avalanche organization his whole career. He's got his own line of pickles. Anybody still got their can of Deadmarsh Deli Dills out there? I still have one. Don't open them and eat them if you still have them. He was a great fan favorite. Remember the Grateful Deadmarsh t-shirts everybody had? But Pierre Lacroix made the move. They got Rob Blake, a big stud defenseman. He was going to be a free agent. The Kings didn't want to pay what he wanted, so the Avs gave up a lot for him. Deadmarsh is one. Deadmarsh was such a well-liked guy in the locker room, particularly with one player, Peter Forsberg. Peter Forsberg was Deadmarsh's best friend in not just maybe in hockey, but maybe in life to that point. Maybe not in life, but right up there. They did everything together. They went everywhere together as young players with the Avs. I remember they used to go out to a place called the Stampede in Aurora. Anybody still know that country western bar? They used to go there together. They used to just do everything together. When Deadmarsh was traded, it took him by surprise. It took Peter Forsberg by surprise in particular. And he knew what a stressful time it was for Adam, Krista, the twins. Now he's got to pack his bags, go to another team. Forsberg was mad about it. He went to Pierre Lacroix and said, look, I don't like what you did. I may not sign into a deal with you guys. He was mad. He went in his office and let him have it. Now, cooler heads prevailed soon enough on that. But it was a really tough thing for Adam Deadmarsh to get traded. He really loved being an Av. All of a sudden, he's traded to Los Angeles Kings, a bad team that year. But a team that did make the playoffs. So I say bad team. They had a late run. They were not a very good team when they made the trade. They made a run. They played the Avalanche in the playoffs. That's a whole nother story time. But when the trade happened, too, it was also a very stressful time for Rob Blake. Now, here's a guy who played his whole career with the LA Kings. He went to the Stanley Cup Finals with them in 1993. He's a big, blonde, surfer-looking dude. Kings fans loved him. But Blake knew he was going to be traded, yet it was a very stressful thing when it happened, it turned out. And it became a lot more stressful when they had to play the Kings in the playoffs for him. Get into a little bit more of that whole thing with the playoffs. It was, Rob Blake was so scared that they were going to lose to the Kings. He thought, rightfully so, he would have been very embarrassed by that. That series went to 7 games against the Kings, and it was a very tough series. The Avs won Game 7, 5-1 at home. That's also the night Peter Forsberg had his spleen burst. That was another Avalanche story time recently. The bottom line, though, is trade deadline is a really stressful time for players. I know that everybody in the Avalanche room at the game against Florida Monday night was very relieved that it was over. They know where they're going to be for the next couple months at least. Everybody knows they're going to be here the rest of the year. Adam Deadmarsh didn't have that luxury in 2001. He ended up having a very good career, though, with the Kings. Unfortunately, his career ended by a concussion that forced a premature end to it. The girls turned out just fine. They live happily in Idaho, the Deadmarsh family. They are, they're teenage girls now, right? So everything turned out okay in this thing, but it remains a very big thing in Avalanche history, and also an indication of behind the scenes what these guys really go through. It's not all just fun and games; it's real life stuff. And it was something that remains a big thing in all those players' lives. Changed a lot of lives. So Deadmarsh and Forsberg still best buddies, by the way. I know Peter Forsberg visited Adam at his home 3 years ago in Idaho. They're still very competitive guys. They play a lot of events together. They're very competitive. They have these mythical weight championship belts that they have for winning events. Peter Forsberg beat Adam Deadmarsh by, I guess, 1 stroke in their last golf match. Peter shot an 80. I think Adam shot an 81. Peter sent a text to Adam right after that saying, "How's the weather in Idaho? I hear it may be 80." And so he got the last laugh there. They still battle to this day on all kinds of things. So anyway, for BSN Denver, this has been Adrian Dater on behalf of Bender's Bar and Grill, as well, best hockey bar in the metro area. Thanks for watching.
If you're a football fan or a hockey fan, you got to check out Bender's off of Highway 36, just off of Church Ranch Boulevard. 32 beers on tap, served in chilled glasses. We're a watch site for Coloradans for Nebraska and Steeler Nation of North Denver. So if you're a Husker fan or a Steeler fan, you're a recent transplant to Denver, come on up to Bender's and check us out.